Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this session, which is about the voice banking solution powered by ACAPELA Group, and what about the new release to be released soon, which is the version 4 of the services. So my name is Nicolas Mazars. I've been at ACAPELA for 15 years now, mainly involved in the accessibility market, so which includes visually impaired, voice impairment, elderly, any kind of accessibility purposes. And I'm also, beside my sales manager role, I'm also involved in the product development, which includes this one, my own voice. So we're going to basically somehow continue the presentation we made last year, which was about version 3. We concluded last year the presentation with a slide about the future. So we're going to go through those requests at that time and see how it will be realized through my own voice 4. I'm going to also mention the way it looks like today with the ecosystem around my own voice and the different improvement we made over the last 12 months, in terms of UX, custom messaging option, and any kind of user experiences. So basically, last year when we introduced or we presented my own voice version 3, which is still running today, there were some couple of improvements we had as a main target for the near future, short term, but also long term. The first one, to improve the quality, which is really important. We always look to improve the quality. We don't take anything for granted, and that will be the case as well with my own voice 4. So that was one of the requests. So we've been working all that last year about that part, trying to find new models to train the voice in a better way. That was one of the points, but also we try to improve the custom messages option, which is a way to, beside the text-to-speech voice, to use your own recordings. So that's, in that way you can combine the digital voice and the original voice in the same flow. That's something we've been doing with some upgrade in the system. We've been adding new languages. We have today 21 languages, and we'll continue to add more, potentially up to 30, 35, which is the current portfolio of ACAPELA voices. We also improve more globally the user experiences, and that starts from the registration to voice bank down to the usage of the voice in the final product. And as you might know, we're now part of the Tobii Dynavox family, so we try to also improve that aspect to offer a better experience to integrate the voice into the Tobii product. But we also do it for a more global approach for any AAC vendors which are already supplying my own voice. And also, that's part of what we call the new version, my own voice 4. We are looking to open up new opportunities, new communities with that services. So far, I would say 95% of the users were from and are from the ALS community, but there is more and more demands from users for having diagnosed with PSP, MSA, Parkinson, also head and neck cancer, and also something which will be quite important for ACAPELA in the fact we've been doing those children voices for so many years, the fact that we should also offer the voice banking services for pediatrics. So that's something we're looking to do in the future, and hopefully with my own voice 4. So we've been working on that one for over a year now, and currently the estimate date of delivery or release will be April this year. So we're still on track for that date. We have a really strong coverage since the beginning of this year, because we were 3 weeks ago at Las Vegas CES, where we got some awards in that respect, which is good to bring some awareness about the services. But also to give you an idea, if we do a comparison year on year, last year, January 2022, we had roughly 250 users opening up an account on that month. That was last year. This year, last month, we have 550 users asking for an account. So we just doubled the figures. And that will increase more and more as we improve the quality and there is more and more awareness of the services. So when we started, it was like now 8 years ago. It was the version one of the services, and it was born out from basically two users diagnosed with ALS. They reached out to ACAPELA, one Eric based in Chicago, Illinois, and one from Netherlands, Gant. They reached out to ACAPELA and they were basically asking to create a custom voice for them. That's where the services started really. But at that time, version one was about 8 hours of recordings, and the final quality was not really good. It was a script of 1,500 phrases. So the concept was there for this community ALS, but just the way to do it was not appropriate. We then offering the version 2, which at that time we changed the model, the technology. Initially we were using what we call unit selection, which is a way to glue together some phonemes to create a voice. The second version was using more like what we call a DNN, for deep neural network, which is kind of machine learning system. In that way, the intention when we build the voice is not to record as many phrases as possible, but just to understand what kind of voice we have to record, the identity, the accent, any kind of characteristics of a voice. That was the concept of the machine learning. So we started with version 2. At that time, we reduced the amount of phrases from 1,500 down to 350, which was like an hour. The quality was slightly better, but at least that was a game changer. We started to see more and more users joining the program, and roughly at the end of version 2, we were like around 2,400 users per year subscribing to the services. 2020, we introduced version 3, still using the DNN model, the machine learning techniques, but we reduced the script from 350 to 50, which is about 10 to 20 minutes of recordings. And we were doing that, but at the same time, we were improving the quality. That's the current version we have today, version 3. Last year, we had 3,500 users subscribing to the services. This year, we're forecasting above 5,000. And in 2 years' time, and that's the purpose of My Own Voice 4, we're looking at having roughly 10,000 users subscribing to the services per year. So that's the way, with better quality, more awareness through the partners, that we could reach that cap and beyond. So today, the way it looks like in the ecosystem, there is the product was developed and still developed with the approach user-centric. So it's all about the user, but then the user is in the first line in touch with SLPs, SLTs, OTs, and all the professionals. So they are the ones, promoting the services. And then from the user perspective, they can use the voice in different ways, from different channels. The first one is through charities, organizations, and PO NGOs such as Team Glinson, MND in UK, or MND Queensland, but also another way could be to go through some kind of hospitals or VA centers across America, because we have a list of 35 VA centers which are subsidizing the services for the user. The last channel, which is also related to the acquisition by Tobii Dynavox, is now we have a way to use the Tobii Dynavox partners as reseller of the services. And that's mainly true for Europe and the rest of the world. And that will also happen in US soon. In terms of languages, so like I said, we have today 21. We just added lately Polish and Catalan. And we are also looking at to add Portuguese from Portugal, possibly Brazilian, and we add more and more on demand, and pending the fact we can add them through the ACAPELA capability. But that's what we always try to do, to offer the services to a bit more communities, countries. In terms of compatibility, we have more and more partners, offering the services. You can find the list on the website, but something interesting is also since last year, June 2022, you can also try your voice online and offline through some applications such as TD Talk for 3 months, free of charge, or ACAPELA My Own Voice. And that's born out from the feedback of the users. They were always saying, this is really nice to try online, but we would like to try the voice offline just to see how it sounds on the device. So that's why now you can do it. And that's true for any voice produced online. Also, like I said, we improved the user and the custom messages experience, which is optional for anyone doing a voice bank. But the idea is you have the 50 phrases from ACAPELA. This is the standard, the regular script. And you can add your custom messages to basically pronounce correctly some name or to have some expression with your own voice instead of having the text-to-speech voice. And we've been offering the services since version 3. And lately we improved it with the new interface that was last year, some option like preset list of custom messages, and also some possibility to export the custom messages. Lately we also introduced some short preset lists which are also used in some Tobii Tobii Dynavox products. And that's true for 11 languages. And we will be doing some kind of new layout of the services to have a better user experiences, because the idea is to have a process as smooth as possible, end-to-end, subscription to delivery for the user. If I'm put a bit of focus on the custom messages, which again is optional, but it's really important to my, considering the feedback from the user. The way you do it, you're on top of the 50 phrases from ACAPELA, you will have the custom phrases, and you can use the short script, like I said, it gives you some basic, custom messages that you should record, like yes, no, my name is, whatever. Once it's done, now the good part is you can retrieve those custom messages directly in some applications, like the one called TD Talk from Tobii Dynavox, and I will show you how it looks like in the video. But also, first I will make a quick demo of my voice, the one I did create last week, to compare version 3, which is the one online, and then version 4, which is the one to be released soon. So hopefully you can hear that, because I have a slightly issue with the audio, but we try. Let's see if we can adjust. No? So I try a different way.
This is my digital voice created with the service My Own Voice.
You hear that? So that was the version 3, and this is the version 4, still my voice.
This is my digital voice created with the service My Own Voice.
So I use exactly the same recordings, 50 sentences, but basically trained with the new model. And that's really improved the quality of any voices produced. Like I said, if you use the custom messages option now, since last year, you will find your custom messages directly implemented into the TD Talk application. Give you an example here. So this is TD Talk. And you can see you have the quick messages on the top of the screen, and those quick messages are basically the custom messages that you can record on the My Own Voice website. So you will just upload the short script on the website, you will record those phrases, and then they will be directly populated into the application. That will offer a better way to set up the application on the user side. So that was released last month. And here I would like to play some samples, but I'm not sure with the sound. So we try to do the old way, and this is a couple of examples of original recording from the speaker, My Own Voice 3, and then My Own Voice 4, to give you an example of the quality enhancement. So we start with the first one.
You wear wooden shoes.
So that was the original recording. Then version 3 of the services, My Own Voice.
Hi there, this is my digital voice based on the current version of the service, my own voice version 3.
And then I'm going to play version 4.
Hi there, this is my new digital voice based on the latest development from ACAPELA Group. This is the pavement of the new version of the service, my own voice version 4.
So I'm not sure you can hear that properly, but that's really a quality improvement. I'm going to play another one, which is actually the voice from Luisa. Luisa, she's at the ACAPELA booth over there. So if it happens you talk to her, you will notice the voice sounds exactly like her. So this is the original recording.
A choice of shoes to wear.
Hi there, this is my digital voice based on the current version of the service, my own voice version 3.
So that was version 3, and now this is the version 4.
Hi there. This is my new digital voice based on the latest development from ACAPELA Group. This is the pavement of the new version of the service, my own voice version 4.
So, well, if you want to hear more samples, you can just stop by the booth. But basically, out of the benchmark we did with Mount Voice 4, which was about 50 voices created with different users, all of them, they were far more enhanced, compared to the current version 3, so well accepted by the user. So that's the purpose of the services, and we expect, with that services to go in different directions. So let me go back to the presentation mode. So basically, we are, like I said, the services so far has been built and used for mainly ALS community. But beside that community, there is more and more interest from pediatrics, from PSP, MSA community, but also Parkinson. So that's one of the aspects we try to open up with the services, but also the fact we've been doing mainly adult voices, and now we also need to consider teenager children from 6 to 10, 10 to 11, 12, 13, any ages. That's also the way we can increase the number of users. And finally, the ultimate goal is to give a voice to everyone for any kind of purposes. That's the goal of ACAPELA, and that will go through my own voice 4 and additional services to be released soon. So what's next? And that will be a teasing for next year. Like always, more languages. Adapt the model of my own voice 4 to all the languages, because we will start initially with just a selection of them, which is covering about 85% of the user. But then we have to do the rest. We will open to new communities, new age groups, like I said, pediatrics and other ones. And we try to improve the voice banking user experiences to have something really seamless, end-to-end, subscription to delivery, and somehow to standardizing the services of the voice banking. So that's the goal with my own voice 4, and hopefully with the next version. Thank you very much.